Okay, so for application number 5, we're going to look at Phoenix breaks free. And this is going to be something that we see right at the very end of the form. When we're in this position, we have our lead hand, and it's just going to control and clear that front line. As we reach the final section of the form, our right hand is going to move across and we're going to check. Both hands are going to move out sideways, and then the right hand chambers in and we're going to strike forwards with the palm. Okay, so throughout this movement we have a lot of this crossing over of the hands, and this is what's going to enable you to work on the inside line and keep those hands out as you continually strike to the face. So again, from this position here, the hands are going to be forwards. We're going to pick up with that right hand as it moves across. As we separate, we're going to bring both hands outward, leading with the right. And then the left hand's going to drop down and we're going to strike over the top of the right palm. Okay, so with the Phoenix technique, we're technically operating inside somebody else's guard, hence why the hands move across and separate and then strike. You can also use these on single bridges as well, because it's exactly the same movement. It just means that you're not picking up on both sides. You'll just be addressing one bridge at a time. From this position here, you can start either on the inside or the outside of the bridge, and the same thing's going to happen. The hands are going to come across. We're going to palm that bridge across. We then take over with the left hand, fold down, and then strike straight to the face. Again, the strike can be either a palm or a punch or anything else that you want to stick on the end, but it works exactly the same from the other side. So if we take this as a right punch and we're on the outside, then as the hands cross first of all, we just miss out that first movement. So the hands are open, we check that arm to the outside, and then the hand folds down, and then we strike straight into the face. Okay, so from here, same thing, 1, 2, For number 6, we're going to work snake spits to venom. And this is going to be one of the more traditional applications, though I will show you how to kind of tighten it all up so you can use it in a self-defense application and generate the most power from the smallest amount of movement. We have a single arm and we guide the hand to the outside. So as we shuffle in, we're going to strike to the liver points or the stomach points that are just down through the center of the torso. And then we're going to bring the hand up, which is going to bump for an outside change and strike with the left hand. Again, as I said, this is quite a traditional application, but it's something that you can really tighten up and make it very usable in a self-defense situation. We take the hand around, we guide it through, we strike with the back of the right arm. Now, as the hand rolls up, this is going to parry or bump the arm out of the way. We're going to step behind, and then that's where the right hand will come across and left hand comes out into that arcing strike. So to refine that snake method and make it a bit more usable, what we're going to do is we're going to take out the spin. Now the spins are quite inherent of the Baguazhang style, but it's also wasted movement. So we can use the palm to parry or just to bump the arm as it goes through. That's going to allow us to strike to the liver points or the gallbladder points that are on the side of the body. So instead of bumping the arm and spinning all the way around to strike the back of the head, we're actually going to insert a change step. It means that we don't have to turn our back to our opponent, which is a massive thing if you're in a self-defense situation. So as soon as we bump the arm up this way, we can still generate the power, but we're going to feed the left hand underneath. It's going to arc round, and we're going to strike up to the side of the head. So we still get all the same striking points, but it means that we don't enter this dangerous position of turning our back to our opponent. Okay, so for the snake application, what we're going to do is just guide that first hand past the body. So it doesn't have to be done with a single arm like it does in the form. You can guard it first as you pull. The idea of the pull is just to position your body for that follow-up strike to the body here. Now from here we step behind, outside change and strike to the head. But again, as we mentioned before, we don't want to be turning the back to the opponent, so you can do the same thing with the change step as you strike. So the first movement stays exactly the same. Here, and that's where you change your feet and strike in. So from here, you can just adjust your feet or even just twist your body and get that second strike in. So the hands do exactly the same thing, but the body just stays facing your opponent. Okay, so for number 7, we're going to take a look at bear splashes his hands in the water. Now, this is going to be a very, very traditional posture that you're going to just cram into a nice tight space to get all of that power, but without having to do those great big movements. So bear splashing his hands in the water is simply, as we finish our spin, we're going to swing the arms up here and just load the palm towards the face. We then step, same thing, swing the arm up and load the palm towards the face. As a power movement, it's very useful because we're swinging the arms and also we're coordinating with our steps. The issue that we have is it's very unpractical to have your arms swinging from this length and also to have them from such a low position, especially when you're trying to strike up towards the face. This is a posture that we can use from guard. So from here, we can still use the bear splashing his hands in the water if we parry across and just bring it up from shoulder height. You're not going to generate the same amount of power from the arm, but you can generate the same amount of power from the waist. The waist does exactly the same thing. So you can strike in from a very short range and still strike up underneath the jaw, catching the major points without having to move all the way from the hip. Okay, so this can be done with the lead hand or the rear hand, but this happens again inside the guard. What I'm trying to do is just bump and open up that guard from the inside. So if anybody's reaching forwards or the punches are coming, that first block is going to be a swing from the shoulder and then a straightforward strike. So again, as I said, it can happen from the backhand as well. If it comes over from the left, I can use my right hand and then strike straight in. So from here, the movement, okay? And it's not so much of a pung movement. We're not moving outwards. We're just swinging that one straight up through the center, chambering it and firing in with the palm. So from here, it's going to come across on the inside. We're just going to strike upwards this way. Okay, and then that just opens up the line for the strike. So from here, for our last one, we're going to take a look at unicorn, and the posture is called unicorn and lifts its head to the sky. We're going to take a look at the first part of the section. This is going to lead us into the Qigong. So we're looking at the major applications that lead us into that final bit where we lift the hands up and walk the circle. Now from here, as soon as we finish drilling palm, we finish in this low position. Now we roll the right hand up as we strike back with the left, and then we do our change step plum blossom. So both hands drop, we hop on the spot, hands come over and strike forwards with the right. This is a very traditional application and it's there to help you build and generate power. Obviously, when it comes to self-defense, it looks very impractical if we keep it in the same format. The idea is we're going to crush it down. We're going to condense all that power and just put it into a nice usable position where we can operate from this guard. That first movement can be nice and small, and it's literally this, okay? We're going to use pung to roll up and guard to the side of the head, and at the same time, we're going to strike out with the left palm. This keeps it nice and condensed, and it means that you don't really have to move much from guard. So from here, that's your strike. Now, if we're in nice and close, then as we do our change step, we just take the hands out and then the hands circle around and we can just switch our lead and then strike in towards the head. So we can gather those arms up, bring them through and then strike back in towards the head where hopefully we can get a good knockout shot. This is really the essence of self-defense, taking those really big movements and just making them usable in a nice, small and compact space. So you want to strike the arm and then strike into the body. The follow-up is going to be, so from developing the movement through the form, we generate the power from the waist, but we don't necessarily have to do it. We just drop the weight forwards, and that's what's going to give us the power in that final strike. If you have any questions about any of the techniques or anything else that we have on the channel, please drop me a message in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.